The Reserve Force, the gateway to a total force. Guerrilla Hunters. The Hunters were a Filipino guerrilla unit active during the Japanese occupation of the Philippines and was the main anti-Japanese guerrilla group active in the area near the Philippine capital of Manila.
The first batch was about 70 to 80 young boys with suitcases going up to the hills, some with canned goods.
But what they were really armed with was guts. What they wanted to do was fight the Japanese.
It was created upon the dissolution of the Philippine Military Academy. Cadet Terria Devoso refused to simply go home as cadets were ordered to do and began recruiting fighters willing to undertake guerrilla action against the Japanese. This force provided intelligence to the liberating forces led by General Douglas MacArthur and took an active role in numerous battles, such as the raid at Los Baños. The Battle of Marawi was a 5-month-long armed conflict in Marawi, Lanao del Sur, Philippines of the 1002nd Community Defense Center, National Capital Region Regional Community Defense Group, Army Reserve Command. The reservists assisted not only in checkpoint operations, but also with security, intelligence, and relief operations as directed. This event only shows that the citizen armed force provided base expansion to the active force in times of war. Taal eruption. Reservists assisting in relief and rescue during disasters or calamities as one of its missions came into action when 50 members of the reservist personnel of the 1303rd Community Defense Center, National Capital Region Regional Community Defense Group, Army Reserve Command rescued more than 3,000 families in Talisay, Batangas during the Taal eruption earlier this year. They put them to safer grounds and gave access to feeding programs as well as other necessities including face masks, medicines, relief goods, as well as sleeping and hygiene kits. Reservists as base expansion of the active force is a big help considering that they were trained on humanitarian assistance and disaster response. Typhoon This typhoon left a huge scar within the Cagayan-Isabela area back in September 2018. The reservists of the 14th Regional Community Defense Group of the Army Reserve Command came and rescued, provided assistance to communities that were greatly affected by the said typhoon. It only showed that our citizen army soldiers are ready in times of disasters and calamities and are willing to sacrifice their own safety in the service of their fellow Filipinos. Reservists and COVID development. The Philippine Army, in line with the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases Guidelines, assisted in aiding the victims of this pandemic. It tapped the reserve force to serve as base of expansion of the Army troops during this national emergency. Reservists have been tasked to assist in securing communities, specifically on the augmentation of checkpoints and the packing and distribution of relief goods. The Army Reserve Command, through the Office of the Reservists and Retirees Affairs OG-9 PA, made efforts specifically here in Metro Manila that was highly affected by the pandemic. They have done much work in the duration of the pandemic as part of the frontliners.
Sa pamamagitan ng exercise na ito ay mabigyan natin ng pagkakataon ang bawat laang kawal na maging handa anumang oras ay mapakinabangan sila upang ipagtanggol ang ating bayan.
Welcome to our hearts. Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay ang Philippine Army!
Who are the reservists? The citizen soldiers, referred to as reservists, are those of PA who are incorporated in the reserve force. That includes reserve forces are generally considered part of a permanent standing body of armed forces. The existence of reserve forces allow a nation to reduce its peacetime military expenditures while maintaining a force prepared for war. Strengthening the culture of preparedness.